Embarking from Tarifa in Andalusia, Spain, I crossed the Strait of Gibraltar in the Mediterranean Sea between the Pillars of Hercules where North Africa nearly touches the Iberian Peninsula. As Europe disappeared in the distance, the Leviathan of Africa came into view. With minarets watching over like sentinels, and a sepia-like tinge as if I were peering into the past, an atmosphere hung over Tangier like plumes of cigarette smoke billowing up from cafes from Beat Generation writers who found inspiration in its French and Arabic-speaking Medina. From the rooftop of my riad in Tangier, I listened to the Adhan, or Islamic call to prayer, which would eventually make its way into my dreams, sounding 5 times a day from early morning to late evening. Making my way south towards the desert, I took a grand taxi to the whitewashed city of Tétouan, renowned for its artistic heritage and Neo-Arabic architecture. The Berber name Tétouan means literally, the eyes. Continuing south to Chefchaouen, a cerulean cityscape revealed itself like water cascading down a rugged green mountainside.
There's
following day, I did a hike to the Akchour Waterfall. The trail follows a river through a verdant mountain valley where you can see the only species of monkey north of the Sahara. My next stop was the labyrinthine city of Fez. The Medina, or old historic center of the city, built within defensive walls, was made like a complex maze to thwart invasions. The Medina of Fez is considered to be one of the largest car-free urban areas in the world. From Fez, I would make the journey by Grand Taxi 8 hours south into the Sahara Desert to the Erg Chebbi Dunes and stay in a Berber encampment. The Sahara Desert used to be covered by ocean millions of years ago. Ancient turtle shells and ammonite fossils could be found everywhere. Here you can see the natural geographical border of the mountains of Algeria in the distance and the Erg Chebbi Dunes of Morocco. then met a driver who took me into the dunes, and we entered into another world. The Berbers are nomadic, desert-dwelling people of North Africa known for their incredible resourcefulness in the Sahara. They have a spiritual connection with nature, the sun and the moon, and are renowned for their music. Like the band Tangier, who are Tuareg, a larger Berber ethnic group that lives in an area spanning from northern Mali, where Tangier is from, to Mauritania, Burkina Faso, Niger, Algeria, Chad, and Libya. The owner of the riad where I had stayed in Fez, upon departing gave me a note that I was only to read later on in the journey. It read, El sol sale igual para todos. The sun rises the same for everyone. As the night fell, darkness poured over the dunes, cooling the hot sand and air, giving repose to the intense, arid heat of the day. Traveling to our desert camp, the stars pierced through the twilight, illuminating the way. I hired a grand taxi driver named Mustafa, and we headed west towards Ouarzazate, also known as the Door of the Desert. We drove through many small cities and villages where life seemed to be moving in slow motion. day, I explored Kasbah Aït Benhaddou. This rammed earth, adobe clay and wood citadel, built along one of the main trans-Sahara trade routes, was used as a film location for many of my favorite movies such as Gladiator, Alexander, Kingdom of Heaven, The Mummy, Babel, The Jewel of the Nile, Game of Thrones, Prince of Persia, and Lawrence of Arabia. Marrakech was my final destination, and a stark contrast to the peaceful wilderness of the desert and Atlas Mountains. Upon arriving, I took a walk through the chaos of Jemaa Finna Square. Before concluding my journey and flying to Cairo, I visited the ruins of the El Badi Palace, also known as the Palace of Wonder or Brilliance, or the Incomparable Palace. It is now an exhibition of an ancient dynasty of the Renaissance, a symbol of the splendor of Morocco, and tells the story of the rise and fall of a sultan, his wealth and power.